Welcome to the video lecture on IT Act 2000 Offences in a Guest. At the end of this session, the students will be able to list offences enumerated in the IT Act 2000, describe the provisions under section 43, 44, 65, 66, 67. So in this video, we will be discussing the types of cyber crimes and the sections for those crimes. So section 43 is for wrongdoing, section 65 for source code, section 66 related to hacking, and section 67 on pornography. We will be also seeing some case studies related to the cyber crimes on the given section. So there are different types of cyber crimes. We have already in our previous lectures seen that any act or action done using a particular computer which intends to harm a user in general on the net is into the category of cyber crimes. And today, with the world entirely going on online mode, lots of crimes, and there has been several ways in which the hackers, crackers, social engineers are attempting to make the crimes. So here is a list of different cyber crimes which are popularly known. So the first is cyber terrorism, then is cyber pornography, then is defamation. Defamation is an online defamation using the social media or posts on the social media like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, or any other way. Cyber stalking, that is observing or looking in general to some users, is a crime under section 509 of IPC. Sale of illegal articles, narcotics, weapons, wildlife. So online gambling is also one type of cyber crime. Intellectual property crimes related to software piracy, copyright infringement, trademarks, violation, theft of computer source code, email spoofing, forgery, phishing, credit card frauds, all these fall into the category of cyber crimes. So now we see at the sections under which these particular crimes are punishable. Also we will see where are they defined. So civil wrongdoings under IT Acts is mentioned in section 43. The chapter 8 of IT Act, that is section 43, it says that whosoever without permission of the owner of the computer secures access, mere unauthorized access, not necessarily through a network, it could be any ways not known, downloads, copies, extract any data, introduces or causes to be introduced any virus or contamination of the data, damages or causes to be damaged any computer resource, that is alter, delete, destroy, add, modify or rearrange, change the format of a file, is basically a civil wrongdoing. Also disrupt or cause disruption of any computer resource. So further, it also covers the denial of service attack. It also covers assist to any person to do anything of the above. Means not only the one who is involved, but if anyone, any person who may be an insider or someone within that organization also assist the person, is a cyber crime under section 43. So the charges, the services availed by a person to the account of another person by tampering or manipulating any computer resource, credit card frauds, internet time thefts. Okay, so these are basically the civil wrongdoings under the IT Act of section 43. So moving ahead, under section 65 deals with the source code. As we all know that most important asset for software companies is the source code, and computer source code means the listing of programmers, computer commands, design, layout, or the logic, the algorithm. So basically the ingredients is knowledge or intention, concealment, destruction, alteration. So these are the words which have been defined in the law terminology. Okay, so the computer source code required to be kept or maintained by the law, and if anything of this is revealed to the outsider or unauthorized access, this is punishable up to 3 years and a fine of 2 lakhs rupees. So it is as we as engineers should always take the precaution that whenever we are referring to any source code, we need to check the copyright or the if it is an open source, we are using in that way. Otherwise, it is actually if someone interferes with it, or if someone claims for it, it becomes an offense which is punishable up to a period of 3 years and with a fine of 2 lakh. So moving ahead with the section 66, that is related to hacking. We all know this term hacking is very popular. Basically, hacking is intention or knowledge to cause wrongful loss, destruction, deletion, alteration, diminishing value or utility, or injuriously affecting or damage to the public or any person. That is basically related to hacking. So hacking is known from long time. So the punishment is also imprisonment up to 3 years and a fine up to 2 lakhs. So basically this is a cognizable and non-bailable offense. So section 66 covers data theft as well as data alteration. So a case study related to the BPO theft was very popular, and since then this hacking was known very in India. So recently I would just read out the case study. So this is basically a bank fraud in Pune in which some employees of the BPO arm of Emphasis, which is located in Hinjewadi, defrauded the US customers of Citibank to the tune of rupees 1.5 crores, has raised concerns of many kinds, including the role of data protection. So there were the internal and the ex-employees who were involved in the fraud, as they were having access to the credentials, they could commit this fraud. So the details of the fraud are present in the charge sheet, but however, as a case study, the crime was obviously committed using unauthorized access to the electronic account space of the customer. It is therefore firmly within the domain of cybercrime. So this actually happened long, like 20 years back, and therefore that time it was not sure whether it into which section does it fall. But now as a case study, we know that this is confirmed. It is recognized as an offense under section 66, that is hacking, and also under section 43. So accordingly, the persons involved are liable for imprisonment as well as fine, as a liability to pay damage to the victims to a maximum extent of rupees 1 crore. Okay, so that is the process that was initiated once the fraud was detected. So moving ahead to section 67, section 67 deals with the pornography. So pornography, as most of them must be aware, so it is basically publishing or transmitting or causing to be published in electronic form any obscene material. Okay, so obscene material could be of any type. It could be nudes, it could be defamatory images, or any such electronic material which is having objectionable data in the graphics format. So the punishment on the first conviction is imprisonment of either description up to 5 years and a fine up to 1 lakh. On subsequent conviction, the imprisonment of either description up to 10 years and fine up to 2 lakhs. So basically the section covers the internet service providers, the search engine, the pornographic website. It's a cognizable, non-bailable offense under section 67. So some of the famous cyber pornography cases were the DPS MMS case, the Air Force Bal Bharati school case, and Miss Jammu MMS case. So what are the cyber crimes that are punishable under various Indian laws? So sending pornographic or obscene emails are also punishable under the section 67 of the IT Act. An offense under this section is punishable on the first conviction with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 5 years and with fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. So in the event of a second or subsequent conviction, the recommended punishment is imprisonment for a term which may extend to 10 years and also with a fine which may extend to 2 lakh rupees. So also under the different cyber crimes, emails that are defamatory in nature are punishable under the section 500 of the Indian Penal Code, which recommends an imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine of both. Threatening emails are punishable under the provision of IPC pertaining to criminal intimidation, insult and annoyance. Email spoofing is covered under the provisions of IPC relating to fraud, cheating by personation. Okay, so the case study here, if you are aware, this is a parliament FIR was launched with this particular number, wherein an email was received to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the president of Congress party. The case was referred to as accused person lost his parents during the 1984 riots. So this was also a cybercrime, as it was a threatening email received to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. So moving ahead, the computer related crimes under IPC, to sum it up all, so sending threatening messages by email, sending defamatory messages by email, forgery of electronic records, bogus websites, cyber frauds, email spoofing, web jacking, online sales of firm. So I hope you have got an understanding of all the offenses, the major offenses, I would say, not all, which are covered or which are very popularly known. So I request you to pause the video and answer the question. So sending pornographic or obscene emails are punishable under section dash. So the right answer is 67. Sending threatening of message by email is an offense under section dash of IPC. The right answer is 503. So these are the references, and thank you for your patient listening.